Reinventing fatigue, it is a real thing. I'm going to give you 5 ways to handle it in this video. How's it going, reinventors? I'm Amelia. This is Reinventing You, the channel where you can be inspired to reinvent yourself. I want to inspire you to live a life of joy, fulfillment, and purpose by reinventing yourself. This channel posts weekly, and I'm glad that you are here. You have done the #1 thing to help me out by clicking on this video, so I encourage you to watch it all the way through to the end. My name is Amelia. I can't remember if I said that or not. And behind me, occasionally you're going to hear a cat. That's my cat Clovis. He's very jealous of, I'm outside, the dog's outside. He can only go out on the screened-in porch, so he's very upset about it. So you also may hear some scratching because he's now scratching on the door. He also likes being in the video, so you may see him in a moment. Despite all of that and all of these distractions, I do want to give you 5 ways to deal with reinventing fatigue. Now you think, reinventing fatigue, what is that? Well, let me tell you, mask fatigue is a real thing. I am probably the #1 proponent of wearing masks. I really believe it helps. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I know we need to put this plant so you don't get out. I really believe wearing a mask does prevent us from giving others COVID-19, and so I encourage you to continue wearing masks. Now, in my home state, we've removed the mask ordinance. Not that everybody was following it anyway. But I really am nervous about it because I see places like India where they are really having a surge in the COVID variants. And so I just think it's important for us to continue that. But at the same time, I know we're all so tired of wearing a mask. And I am so tired of working my part-time job and having people to tell people, I feel like their mother, please pull your mask over your nose. Please put your mask on at all times in the store. Please do not drink your drink while you're in the store. If you need to step out or whatever, that's fine. But please, I've even told people we have candles in the store if they want to sniff. I don't really like them pulling their mask down. My employer, she has no problem with that. But I usually say, if you really want to, take it outside. I do not mind if you do that. But at the same time, I know we are all tired of wearing them. I am too. So mask fatigue is something. It is a real thing. And just as like mask fatigue, reinventing fatigue is a real thing. If you're reinventing yourself, the process is probably taking longer than you think it should, or you planned it that it should, or you wanted it to. So now that you're dealing with, trying to continue to reinvent yourself, but you're just tired of it, it's so much easier to go back into your comfort zone and do what you've always done. So here are 5 ways that you can help yourself to deal with your reinventing fatigue. The #1 way to help yourself deal with reinventing fatigue is to let go of perfection. I am the world's worst perfectionist. I want everything to be just right. But sometimes you just have to say, okay, it's not going to be perfect. I'm not going to look perfect. I'm not going to sound perfect. The things I do, I'm not going to live the perfect reinvented life. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to give it my all. But I'm going to give up on this idea of the perfect person, okay? You can never be well, maybe there was one person who was perfect, but you can't be that person. I don't care how many filters you put on your Instagram account, you yourself are not going to be perfect. So you've got to give that up. Now, that may not be something that you deal with, but that's something that I would deal with. The second thing is to enjoy the journey, and that's easier said than done. I know people have told me that sort of thing before, but just enjoy, what you're doing now, the way you're growing, the learning, the new skills that you are developing, the way you are learning to see the world, and just, be proud of yourself, and that'll lead into the next one, but kind of be proud of yourself for what you have accomplished so far and where you're headed, and just being committed to reinventing yourself. So, just enjoy what you got, enjoy where you are. Just be, this is a process, and enjoy where you are instead of trying to say, oh, I got to get to the end. I know that when I've traveled before, it's always been, oh my gosh, I want to get there, but If you've ever traveled with children, a lot of times the things that they remember and the best times that they had from the journey was when you were in the car or in the airplane or on the bus. That is what they enjoyed, that camaraderie, the, are we there yet? Just the whole, growing together as a group. So just think of that in terms of your journey in reinventing yourself. You're growing yourself, and just appreciate where you are. The third way to deal with reinventing fatigue is to celebrate. Like I said, be proud of yourself and celebrate your accomplishments and think, well, how can I celebrate what I've done so far? Maybe it's taking a break and watching a movie. Maybe it's ordering pizza, if that's something for you. Maybe it is calling a friend and say, hey, look what I've done. This is what I've done so far in my reinventing process. Maybe it's, spending a little extra time, 30 minutes more, watching videos on YouTube. Whatever it is, take some time to celebrate and just be proud of yourself. I know that somebody was recently telling me about taking yourself on a date. Maybe you don't have a social life with a lot of people right now, but put your mask on, and go to a store and, go window shopping, or just, go to a park and go hiking, all those kinds of things. Find a way to celebrate and give yourself a pat on the back for what you have accomplished so far in your reinventing process. The fourth way to deal with reinventing fatigue is to listen to yourself / your 1-inch square piece of paper people. So let me break that down. Sometimes if you're reinventing yourself, the voices outside of you that's not in your head are going to try to discourage you or put you down or give you unwanted advice or try to, manipulate you in certain ways or discourage you in other ways. So you have to stop listening to those voices and listening to what's in your heart and your head. Also, if you're trying to figure out which voices outside of you to listen to, I've talked before about the 1-inch square piece of paper. And on that 1-inch square piece of paper, you write down the names of the people whose advice you really respect, whose opinions really matter. The people who've also been in the arena, they've fought the battle as well. And these are the ones that have your back, no matter what. Those are the people that you should listen to. If it's not you, if it's not those people, you're going to have to stop listening to them, because that often can lead to reinventing fatigue. I know that during the masks, the mask fatigue thing, part of what happens is there's so many people out there saying, oh, we don't need to wear masks anymore. I'm not wearing masks. Or they post on social media and groups of people and they're not wearing masks and they poo-poo you. I know, I had somebody, spoke to somebody in the store yesterday, and it was a young man, maybe 13, 14. He was in there with his parents or grandparents, and I said something about pulling his mask up over his nose, and he gave me this I could kill you look. And it's like, I'm sure you're having to wear a mask in school. It's not that big a deal. If you've got it over your mouth, you just pull over your nose. How long have we been doing this? But it's one of those times you just feel beaten down. And the same thing is with reinventing yourself. If you have somebody who's constantly chipping away at your process, it's really hard to, hold fast to what you are doing and the changes that you're making in your life. The fifth way to handle reinventing fatigue is to be willing to make course corrections in your reinventing journey. That is, you may have had some expectations or goals that you wanted to reach in your reinventing journey, whether it's getting rid of toxic people in your life or making a career change, whatever it is, losing 50 pounds. You had some goals and maybe something came up, maybe a health change. Maybe you were trying to make a career change, but all of a sudden your family needs some money and it's not time to quit your job. You had to stick with it. Or maybe, you have toxic friends, but right now you don't have any friends because of COVID, or you feel trapped in those friendships, and you've got to make some course corrections. And maybe you say, well, I'm going to get rid of, stop hanging out with people, but maybe not, cut them out of social media entirely. I'm going to continue to eat healthy, but I'm not going to give up on losing. I eventually, hopefully, will be able to lose weight, but I'm going to, take my health into consideration. If it's, your career change, well, I can't leave my job right now, but what can I do to prepare for change? Whether it's, updating my resume, updating my LinkedIn account, whatever it is I can do to help my future self. Or maybe it's saying, well, I can't change my whole career right now, but maybe I can move departments or move across the country. Whatever it is, you have to say, this was not my real goal. This was not my final goal, but I'm going to change that. Reinventing yourself is all about change. So sometimes you have to make those course corrections in your reinventing journey. So which one of these 5 is going to be helpful for you? And are you even, suffering from reinventing fatigue? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed, I invite you to do that as well. I hope that you're doing well, whether you're suffering from mass fatigue or reinventing fatigue. I'm glad that you have watched this video. I'm Amelia. This is Reinventing You. Have a great one.